Okay, so I guess that's the safe way to make contact. Is there still a slight hint of danger for people doing it?
Well, I believe you are in total control of your experience. For most of my life, I feared the grays. I thought they were evil. I thought they were bad. I thought they were picking on me, and I thought they were victimizing me. But the reason for that was because of my own personal filter. For most of my life, I was a victim, and I played the victim role beautifully. I've been married twice, and I was in abusive situations. And there have also been other situations where I also played the victim. So my lens, the eyeglasses that I was wearing just to look at life was, everyone's picking on me, everyone is hurting me, oh my gosh, I'm the victim all the time. So when I had these interactions with the grays, that's my same perception. They're picking on me, they're hurting me, this is not for my benefit. Once I started the deep introspection of looking inside of myself, I had to know, why did I pick two abusive people? Why? It's something in me. I can't blame them. It's not their fault. It is within me that I did that. And then I choose to wear the lens of a victim. Well, I have to take those glasses off. Once I did that, that's through deep introspection. Then I started to see that my contact with the grays was all for my benefit. They're all very kind. It was to help me. And so the danger comes in your own personal perception. How do you view yourself? How do you view the world? How do you view other people? You are you no matter where you go. If you think that you're a victim and you come in contact with an ET, you might do the same thing that I did. You might think that they're being mean to you, they're picking on you, this is not for your benefit. But if you don't view the world like that, then your ET contact can be very, very beautiful and supportive and nurturing. And so I ask everyone to really look inside and try and figure out, what is my perspective and what is my viewpoint on life and myself, because that affects every single experience that you have, whether it's on Earth or off Earth.
Yeah. So I guess you also have to be careful about the way you talk about yourself.
Oh, yes. You mean using positive words instead of negative
Well,
words and things
you
like that?
talk about our energy, going out and it keeps going to infinity. But I guess when you speak, the same thing happens.
Absolutely. Energy comes out of our mouths, and there's energies in letters, and there's energies in sounds. There's everything. And so it's very important to do your best to speak high frequency words, to speak high frequency letters, to eat high frequency food, to have high frequency thoughts, and to exude a high frequency. The higher the frequency you exude, you're going to align with high frequency beings as well. Those beings being humans and also otherworldly beings.
Okay. So we talk about a lot of ET races. Is there one particular ET who keeps showing up, who seems to be there more times than others? Like one particular race?
Right now in my life, yes. There is a group of ETs that I've come in contact with several times. The first time I came in contact with a version of them was actually just last March. And when I say a version of them is, I call these beings the blues, because when they are in their mature form, there are different shades of blues, and you can't really even draw them because they're just light. And when you look at them, they're just this constant moving kaleidoscope of light, and they're gorgeous. It's blue light and silver light, and then right here every now and then would be this flash of spring green. That is the mature version of that kind of being. I was also in contact with the other versions. So when they're first born, they come out as these four-legged beings that look like white dogs. And on my YouTube channel, I have the video about I call it my white dog encounter. And then as they mature, then they turn into these 3 or 4 foot tall, white luminescent beings. And then they turn into these taller blue beings. And these taller blue beings have given me information about DNA activation, that I have started a series on my YouTube channel about how to activate your DNA and raise your frequency. And they also gave me information about Tesla and Disney and Tchaikovsky.
Wow.
Yeah, they told me that all 3 of those men were channelers. They were in contact with different groups of ETs, in particular who I call the blues. And the blues are very loving. And Disney and Tesla actually met. And when you listen to Tchaikovsky music, which is my favorite composer ever since I was a little girl, so is Disney. Of course, we all love Disney, and everyone loves Tesla too, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you listen to Tchaikovsky music, it activates packets of DNA inside of you. So it helps you fulfill your purpose. It's a very high frequency music with the intent of raising your frequency and activating your DNA. So it's not a coincidence that one of Disney's most famous movies, Fantasia, is Tchaikovsky music.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. So less rock, more classic.
Yes, and it's not just Tchaikovsky, it's others too.
Yeah.
But music plays a big role in affecting our frequency.
I spoke with Josephine Smith about hybridization, and she spoke about the blue beings, and she called them, knows them as the Arcturians. Is that the same? Is that the same with you?
I have been told that the blue beings that I'm talking to are known as the Arcturians. Mm-hmm. I do believe there's different types of Arcturians. They look a little different. There's various types, but I agree with Josephine. Mm-hmm.
And I have to ask this: so, through your experiences, have you come across any bad ETs with bad intentions?
Okay. So once again, here we go with our own personal frequency, because if we have a lower personal frequency, we're going to align with lower frequency beings. And those interactions we call scary or bad. And even though you have a high frequency and you're aligning with high frequency beings and people, there's still these lower vibratory people and beings that can still kind of come in and just poke at you just out of curiosity. In December, I had a friend come stay with me. And so she brought with her her beings, you know, wherever we go, we have our beings. And her first night there, I woke up in my bedroom in the middle of the night, and standing next to my bed was a Men in Black.
Wow.
Just like we expect them to look. It was a black shadow. It was tall. It had the hat, standing beside my bed. And it had a very, very low frequency to it, but a strong frequency to it. It felt like it was pulling me into its vortex. And I said to it, "You can't be here, you have to go." Well, it put up a fight, and we did have what I call an energetic battle. And I stood my ground, because I know that I'm in control, it's not in control. So as long as I exerted control, and importantly, as long as I didn't flip into fear, because that is what these low vibratory beings feed off of, fear. If you exude fear, that's their food. So I made it clear, I am not afraid, and I am in control, and you have to go. After this little battle that we had, it left. So if this is one thing that I say over and over and over again when I help people channel, when I help people make contact with other beings. You are in control. Do not exert fear.
Okay. I'm just thinking of the, I've done several stories about the Men in Black, and their purpose seems to be to silence people. But do you think that, do you think people are thinking along those low frequencies when they show up in their lives?
Are Men in Black showing up in the lives of people who are involved in low frequency pursuits?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, I guess even people that see something perhaps that higher powers don't want them to see, and then the next thing they know, the men in black show up and say, "Listen, you didn't see that." I mean, is that the kind of thing that they would attract?
So you're talking about a 3D Men in Black as opposed to an
Yeah.
astral Men
So
in
there's a
Black, because
difference.
yeah, because there's both kinds. And so the astral Men in Black really do the most harm, which is what I saw, the astral Men in Black. And I do believe that this Men in Black was attached to my friend, because my friend had just newly started getting into all these YouTube videos about the deep state and about the cabal and about
Right.
the reptilians, and it's negativity, negativity, negativity. Yes, there's negativity in this world, and yes, we have to hear about it, but to completely throw yourself into that and listen to those videos all day long, it's very negative energy. And that being was with her, unfortunately. And you know, it's none of my business who has what kind of being.
Yeah. So why were you contacted? Do you ever think about that? And do people get contacted by accident?
No, contact is never by accident. Not even seeing a UFO in the sky, that is not an accident. There's a reason these things are happening. Often it's to reawaken a memory that you have been having contact, and the ETs are now telling you it's time to remember. It is time to remember, because Earth is transitioning. It's in a transition. Are we going to be able to see it to the end? We don't know yet, but we have started this transition. And this transition includes the acceptance of ETs and other beings living in other dimensions, on other planets, and currently communicating with us. It's currently happening. That's part of the transformation that we have to accept in order for Earth to move into a higher frequency. It just has to be done. We're not going to get to a higher frequency without accepting that and knowing it. Oh, did I answer your question? What was your question?
No. No, I just asked about people that have experiences. Is it by accident? But
No.
no. Well,
No.
what about beings being able to change your life for the better? How would they change someone's life for the better?
So when you engage in communication with another worldly being that has a high frequency, you automatically have access to information from the higher perspective. Information from the higher perspective is very, very valuable, because what it does is it allows you to just kind of pull back a little bit and just to watch your life from this perspective. So what that does is it doesn't allow you to get all caught up in like the things that aren't important, the stresses in life, the things that really don't matter, that so many of us really do tend to get all caught up in, because many of us are just in this state of fear. So when you get guidance from a higher perspective, it makes you realize you don't have to be attached to all that. You're not attached to all that. You can just withdraw, and you can create your life from a platform of self-control and peace, not falling into this world of chaos and fear, and I don't have control, and other people are determining what's happening to my life. That is not a reality unless you deem it's your reality. You can have a reality of the exact opposite. And that is what information from these beings from a higher perspective help you discover. And that changes your life for the better.
So this is all about a spiritual awakening and
Yes.
enlightenment.
Absolutely, yes.